Welcome to the 4% Solution. Inspired by Valentine's Day, our theme for the next few videos is about transforming your existing business into a business that loves you back. You've probably heard me say this many times, that's really the goal, is to step up and take control of the reins so that you can reinvent the business you're in so that it stops burning you out, stops consuming you, and actually loves you back. I'm Cher Cunningham, I'm your coach.
And I'm Jim Blow, I'm your consultant.
In this series of the next few videos, we're going to draw a few parallels between some people relationships and business relationships.
It'll be a lot of fun.
A little tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
But because it is human beings, and we do get into a relationship with our business, it's something that you need to step back and understand, how did this happen? And often that's how it happens, is we start to tie things into what it means to be in our business, and then it can get a little bit out of hand.
And we in talking to clients, we sit down, we go, how a lot of our discussion is, how is this person relating to their business? How is their business relating to them? How are they relating to their employees? And of course, all businesses are family businesses, the small businesses we work with. So your family's involved. So really, it's a series of relationships, and the parallels between you and your relationship with your business, your employees, and your clients has so many obvious parallels to personal relationships.
We hope to have a bit of fun with it, share a bunch of ideas that will help you make a change right now today. And we'll see how many of these we do. I have 3 or 4 in mind, but we'll see what we get to. So welcome to our Business That Loves You Back series. This is video 1. Happy Valentine's Day. And we're going to talk about what is a business that loves you back. As your coach and the person that's helping you create a business and create yourself so that you can create the business that does fuel your life and not consume you, my goals for you are a business that provides you profit, wealth, the impact that you want, because it's a lot of fun as well to build a business and create something.
It should be fulfilling. All relationships should be fulfilling.
Which means some satisfaction, some pride, and in the case of your business, some time and financial freedom, because that's a big part of why you got into this relationship in the first place. So that's not usually what we see when somebody walks in.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah, unfortunately, what we see most often with our clients when we first meet them is more like a codependent relationship, one where there's constant drama that the business is creating, there are fires to put out, the owner is run ragged trying to make things work.
That is very, we tend to work with businesses and business people who have been in business for a few years, sort of 3 to 5 years. And that is kind of often the point where you've grown to a size where your business is not loving you back. It's maybe not as profitable as you want it to be. And profit is the measure of how your business loves you back, really.
Yeah, it's grown to a size where it seems to have a mind of its own, like your gut isn't working anymore, and you actually start to not trust yourself when you've reached a certain level of success where your business is successful, but that success is killing you, essentially. It's taking your time, it's taking your energy, it's taking your emotions. So we see this, and I think maybe starting with a little story about what does that look like?
What does it look like when one of our clients arrive? And this is a general story, but it's very true of many of our clients who show up feeling like this about their business. I think one of the first conversations we have with people as they start working with us is how they're feeling about their business, and it's usually, I'm burnt out, and I'm working too hard, and I'm not getting weekends off, and I'm doing payroll on the weekend, and I don't understand how to motivate my employees and to get them what I need them to do. And there are some clients who I find really challenging to work with. I think is a good bunch of the symptoms that we see.
Yeah, definitely. I know we were thinking as we were putting this together, we've had a few clients, we've had a few prospects where we look at their business and what's happening with them in the business, and we can see some of the concessions they have made. From the mindset side of things, as a coach, I talk about being in that constant state of anxiety puts you in your reptile mind, that fight, flight, freeze, or appease. And we had a client that we were working with last year who was absolutely in appease mode. He was hoping to grow his business. He was inching it forward step by step. He had underhired because he didn't have the profits to hire the people he could hire in that business. He was taking on clients that didn't really value the incredible skill that he brought to bear on what he was doing for them. And so that state of constantly accepting things that weren't appropriate was a habit he had gotten into, that the business now owned him, and it seemed like it was making all the decisions for him.
Yeah, it's not a good place to be. The good news is that you can intentionally effectively rebuild or renew your relationship with your business.
And realistically, why we're making these parallels between a romantic relationship and a business is that at any point you can stop and step out of that relationship and evaluate, is it going where I want it to go? Am I being intentional with it? Am I communicating enough with it? Because all relationships can spiral down when we stop putting work into them, when we just let them happen and get into that place of, well, if it's meant to be, it's going to happen. Or in the business case, if people are going to value me, then they're going to find me. There's a lot of that sitting back passively that starts to creep into the business, into that relationship, that can lead it astray.
And I think a lot of that is using assumptions in lieu of communication. Mm-hmm. I think that's true in personal relationships, and it's very true in a business sense. We're going to talk about that. It's very exciting. You don't actually communicate with your business, of course, but there are ways to interact with your business that obviously aren't communication, but have the same effect. It has the effect of aligning you and your business and getting you on the same page about what it is that you're trying to accomplish.
And so although it's true that you're not communicating to your business, it's always communicating to you in whether you are getting clients, what the data coming from your business reveal to you. As long as you're paying attention to that information. And I don't think that people, if they don't know how to manage that information or if they don't feel like they have any control over it, I think that's where we start ignoring the data and just letting those things happen.
And back into the personal side of the comparison here, when we work with business owners, really your family's involved, your household is involved, your spouse is absolutely involved. And part of the process of working on your business with you is to understand what you're trying to accomplish from a personal perspective. We have a very holistic approach to working with our clients, and it's often the case that that you and your spouse have not had the kinds of discussions that are fairly essential to making decisions actually about your business and what your business is how your business is affecting your household. And so we sometimes recommend a book in particular.
There are some conversations that get scary to have as you are struggling to grow your business and it hasn't hit that point of profitability, or it hit that point of profitability and then you hired more people and you lost the profits. So as the business owner, you start sometimes hiding your stress, hiding your fears. You don't want to vent about the business because it's been going on for a while that things are a struggle. And that's true of all businesses. So you start to pretend everything's fine. And we've had certainly people come in who there's a challenge when I open up the lifestyle session, which is a couples involved session. that they are fearful of what's going to come out in that session. So we've actually moved it later into our program so that the business owner knows they have actually got excellence in their business. They're turning the corner, and they can see the projections are very positive. At that point in time, a book that I often recommend is called 8 Dates, Essential Conversations for a Lifetime of Love by John Gottman. It's an incredible book because it outlines and gives context for the conversations that you need to have to build that strong relationship. And as a business owner, you need that strong relationship. We've seen business stress eat families, and it does not have to happen. So this fits very well for our Valentine's theme. I highly recommend that book. We'll make sure that we put a link to it in the description under the video. And maybe you would like to buy a couple of copies of that and go on an adventure with your spouse or significant other and explore those 8 conversations. They are powerful. They are context driven instead of emotion driven, so that you get to have those conversations you may never have had before.
And now a little bit tongue in cheek about the business parallel to that. So what that book can do for you and your significant other is to provide an underpinning to your relationship so that conversations have been had, so that expectations have been expressed, and so that there are no assumptions in the nature of the relationship or the underpinnings of the relationship that you have with your significant other. You can actually do that with your business. And the tool that people use to have that conversation with their business, I know this sounds kind of funny, is looking deeply into their business model.
So if you've never heard of the concept of a business model, or you have but you don't see the value in it, much like the business plan that sits on the shelf, what's the point of diving into your business model? When used well, when used effectively, it opens up those corners of the relationship with your business so that you can become very intentional. It helps you dig in and do that deep dive on the business model so that you're understanding how you can take the business you're in and evolve it into the business that you want to be in, the business that you would have created if you could start over right now with everything you know. It lets you work on the business very powerfully, very purposefully, and also profitably.
And we capture that in the saying, the business model is about deciding, intentionally going after how do you play the game and how do you win at the game that you've created. And in an excellent business model, that should leave you in a place of very little competition and very much profitability.
Small business really is, certainly our clients with those small businesses that are, under 50 employees, you're in a niche business where your market is almost infinite compared to what you can serve, will serve in the length of your business. So having that place of openness to start from and have those deeper conversations in the specific elements that let you build a healthy business.
And going through the business model process, we've developed an approach to that is really, really tailored to small businesses. And just to give you 3 of the concepts that we use in there that are very powerful, and this is actually how you design your business and get back into communication with your business, is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Looking at those in a way that is not a rote, off-the-shelf kind of way, which is typically how that's gone about. A second way of looking at that is understanding the value chain that you're in. So the customer's at the top of the value chain, you're somewhere in the value chain, and understanding how your customer views your position in the value chain and views what it is they're actually buying from the totality of the value chain is an extraordinarily powerful exercise that all of our clients are just really blown away by the perspective that they get on their business and on their clients.
So the knowing your SWOT, those strengths and weaknesses, first and foremost, steps you out of being all things to all people and looking for perfection. It's really looking for excellence. What is your 1 inch of excellence that when you focus on it, attracts incredible clients? And those clients where you pick up the phone and you're like, yes, instead of seeing the phone light up and going, not one of those again. That it's valuable information when you act on it, when you make decisions based on it. And from that really gets you to the place of what is my value in where I meet the client in that value chain. Not that you cannot own the value chain, own the client, but you don't have to be doing all the work, right? You are a niche business in a co-opetition world where other great businesses are feeding clients to you, and you are feeding clients to other businesses, working together because you aren't typically trying to steal clients from someone else. You're filling a gap in the marketplace, and remembering what that gap was when you first started the business is very important.
And a third tool to mention here, and there are a lot of them in the business model. This is a bit of a short list, but one of them is what we call the Pareto principle, which is really figuring out where the gold is in your business across a number of different aspects. The most obvious one is which clients are best for you in revenue, best for you in profit. And we're going to talk about that some more in our next video, which is coming up shortly.
And so typically people need help with this, and you probably do too. We have a lot of resources that are free and available for you to dive into, and we're always here to help you to really take the reins again in your business so that you can build a business that loves you back, because you should. You don't want to be trapped in that same protest of, oh, I don't need a therapist. There must be something so wrong with me if I have to seek somebody else out. I think that when you reach out for expert help, whether it's a therapist for your relationship or a coach consultant for your business, it's because you're recognizing and respecting that you've got something that is incredible and worthy of work and expertise and focus. So dive into some of the free resources, do a deep dive into your business model to identify what it is that's inside of it that can help you create that business that loves you back. In our next video, we're going to talk about healthy boundaries for you and your business. And that's another step that is really key in your path of building that business. So we'll see you in that video.